What's up, people? Mindful message number 2 for the day. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of tarot. Whether you're watching readings or doing them, what are the perks and what are the downfalls? Because let's face it, there's perks and downfalls in everything we do. So let's talk about tarot as the reader first. Like someone who they don't have to be spiritual. I know a lot of tarot card readers who just look at it as a game or a storytelling game and don't at all believe in anything spiritual. There's all different kinds of people that use tarot, but when you're reading it, anytime you put your energy into anything, as far as reading, like if you are trying to channel and you're not even doing a reading and you're sitting there and you're writing things down, you are opening yourself up to energies that are not yours. Sometimes energies that were never human. And so anytime you open up to do a tarot reading or any kind of channeling or any kind of psychic work, you always have to cleanse and clear and protect. And if you don't do a good job of that, and if you're not consistent with that, you can have a lot of bad luck, bad juju, if you will, people sending you the evil eye. You don't even have to address it or acknowledge it when you do it. Wearing things like crosses, evil eyes, having crystals around, all of that does it naturally. Sage. I don't have any particular rituals that I do, but I like to burn sage. I like to have crystals around and just protect my energy when I'm reading it and after I'm reading it. But sometimes when you read tarot for a long time, you get repeating storylines and people latch to your energy. So that's why you see a lot of tarot readers who get burned out and take some time off, especially if they do personal readings. That's why I don't really like to see. My thing about tarot reading and why I don't give readings is because, one, I grew up when people came to my table, like a literal table, and read them the cards. I could sit down, I could read their energy right there, I could look them in the face and know and see their intentions and use my psychic sensibilities to keep bad things away. But when you do things online, there really is no way to check who is beyond that screen and who you are tapping into. And unfortunately, a lot of people who do come to tarot card readers for things, most of the time it's about love, but a lot of times they're karmics trying to spy on other people, or they're just people who don't wish you well, don't really even believe in what you do, and they're like, well, why would they spend money for a personal reading? It's because they have gifted abilities too, and by you accepting and acknowledging that they can tap into your energy, and if you don't shut that off, they can stay connected to you like a tether, and they become like energy vampires. That's when you start to get sick, that's when you get depressed, and it's all because they paid for whatever for your tarot reading for you to connect to their energy, and they're really doing bad stuff on the other end. That happens so many times. I can't even tell you how many people came to my table and I said, no thank you. I refused to do the reading because I knew they were a non-believer. I knew they were sitting there, and it's like, why do you want to spend your money if you're just out here to nitpick me and berate what I do for a living? And there's so many people like that hide behind a screen that are even worse. So that's why I don't do personal readings. Also, I am a psychic medium. It takes a lot of energy. I'm highly protective of my energy, and I only wish to be led by spirit, not by humans. And you put yourself in the vulnerability of humans and their nature when you open yourself up for private readings, which, I'm not mocking it. People make really good money doing that stuff, and they have livelihoods, and I'm not saying they're bad people, and I'm sure they dealt with a lot of evil shit and they managed to do it and protect their energy just fine. But in my experience, there is always a burnout phase with tarot. I can't do tarot too many days in a row. I just can't. Sometimes I just don't even want to look or pick up my tarot cards. I just get exhausted with it. And it's because in itself is a tool that absorbs your energy and all energy around it. Everything in symbolism comes from the dawn of time. There's power in symbols, and every card and every number has its own gateway to things, good and bad. I walk between both. I know a lot of people don't understand that. I might explain that one day, I might not. I've been thinking about it. But I like to stay quiet about my own personal stuff in a certain way, and you really have to do that if you are a tarot reader. I can't tell you how many tarot card readers I listen to, and they're like, I can understand when they're trying to relate, like, okay, one time this happened to me, and this is what I did, and it helped me. Like, I understand that it's a life experience and how you're, like, doing things, but if you ever watch tarot card readers that genuinely are always talking to karmics, I mean, look at me, sometimes I have to check the karmics back, and then I just shut up about it for a while. But all those people that do readings, and they'll cut the reading off, and they'll be like, I know you're watching me, Susan, or whatever, or I know my so-and-so watches me. Be careful, because they're putting that energy on you. We're getting into the other side of it now. For the reader, when you are listening to the reader, you are giving that reader your energy. Have you ever watched a tarot card reading and got really sleepy? I would never watch them again. They're energy vampires. I run into this all the time. I do check out and look for signs in my own life. There are a few readers that I watch, but there are a lot that I don't. I get very bad feelings, anxious, my anxiety will go off, or I'll be really tired, or just get upset for no reason. These are all people. You have to understand the nature of the beast. When a beast is hunting up things, they're not going to tell you what they're hunting up until they got you hooked and they have what they need. So they become these holier than now devout spiritual beings so that you trust them and they manipulate you. So I would be very cautious on how you feel when you're listening to tarot readings. Now, sometimes it's not the tarot reader, it's the energy of the reading, and I can tell the difference as a psychic medium, but if you don't, if you like watch a tarot card reader, and normally they're pretty good, but one day you watch them and they're just like turned you off, it was probably the energy tuning into the reader as well. So be mindful of that before you cross someone off. It's just like when you sleep with someone, you know how they say, like, when you sleep with everybody your person has slept with in a way? Every tarot card reader, you are tapping into a divine energy, both yours and theirs, and it mingles and it fizzes and it can last a while or forever if you don't conduct it. Like, every day I cut cords, I cut ties, I clear my karmic energy every day. Return to sender every day, because I'm on a public platform, because people can see me. The more you put yourself out there, the more attacks. And the other bad side of tarot is we feed into our delusions a lot. We'll watch a reading and we want that life, or we want that reading to be ours, but it's not really making sense, and you're not seeing it in the 3D. I'm not saying you shouldn't believe it, because a lot of manifesting is believing before it comes. But I think we like to pick out readings that appease our delusions and not our reality. You can get sucked down the rabbit hole. That's a bad thing about tarot. It's subjective and it changes. It can change immediately after hearing it. Just by hearing the outcome, you're shifting your reality and projecting a new one. So don't ever look at it as 100% fact. Look at it as a suggestion or advice. Don't base any decisions off of it. Don't let anyone decide like what to do with your money or any kind of situation. That has to come from you. It is all subjective and could be read wrong.